All right. Peace and greetings, YouTubers. Ooh, Donald Trump, they done got you. Okay, listen, Cell Block 8 is about to have a new resident, all right? The crazy part for me, initially when I heard that there's a possibility that he may be indicted for something, because nobody really knew what was happening, I figured, oh, okay, they might get him for like 2 or 3 counts or something. Maybe 4 if they want to get spicy. I didn't realize it was going to be 30 plus different counts, and they haven't even said what the counts are, and I guess we find that out on Tuesday. But I've seen reports as high as 34 different counts for whatever different offenses he's done. I'm like, oh, all right, this is going to be some entertainment here, and mainly because Donald Trump has always moved with a sense of invincibility. He moves like nobody can touch him. He reminds me so much of, you ever had that one kid in school when you were in elementary, like they ran their mouth so much, and you wanted to fight them so bad, and you know that you can beat them up, but the problem is they're Samoan, and they got like 6 or 7 other siblings, and if you fight that kid, you got to fight all the siblings, and that doesn't even include the cousins that show up, because listen, then it's like 40 people, so it's like, you just got to take the L, right? And so it's kind of like that kid knows that, and so it would be like they would still run their mouth every day knowing that you can't do anything about it, because if you put one finger on them, it's an army of 40 people coming for you. Like that's how he has always moved. And so I want to see this invincibility in real time when this court case kicks in. And the part I'm waiting for, I can't wait for the mugshot. That's what I want to see, because sometimes with the mugshot, they make you take off some of the extra stuff. So sometimes they'll make you take off wigs and stuff. So if he has hair plugs, they're gonna make him pluck them things right out. And so this whole bald part, I can't wait to see that. Like, I want to see the sun spots. All right, make him take that tan or bronzer stuff off and see how pale he really looks. I can't wait. Some good entertainment. And while we're at it, I know DeSantis has probably stolen something from 7-Eleven or something at some point. So y'all go ahead and find something to charge him for too while we at it, because he get on my nerves as well. But on a more serious note, the part that for me is just crazy that I find very entertaining is we're in such a space in the United States where people are blindly loyal to politicians, and not even just loyal, but to the point where it's not even about supporting a candidate or supporting their policy. It's more so being obsessed with them as a person and as a personality and as a celebrity, to the point where people are willing to commit violence all in the name of maintaining, the legacy or what you would call, the platform that entertainer or that politician is still on. And so when it comes to Donald Trump, people move very weird when it comes to him, because he pretty much has a cult following. There are people who are supporters and voters, but then there are also people who are willing to go and load up the AR-15 when things happen or when they feel that people are after Trump. And so now you're hearing these different conversations, and folks are like, oh yeah, it's time for civil war. And I'm like, well, civil war? Why? Because Trump got charged for doing some rich people stuff? Okay, and how does that work? What, are y'all going to meet up at the Indy 500 and just square off? Like, no, listen. Most of us have lives. Most of us have jobs, or we have families, or are in school, or we're living our lives and doing the best that we can. Not everybody has the energy to lock into this foolishness that you guys have all decided to create. So those of you who want to play in that kind of cuckoo game, y'all get together and get box cutters and lock yourselves in a room and go for it. But the rest of us, we want to live our lives. But it's interesting to just see the nonsense that happens. I always say, it's a dangerous and a slippery slope when you become a fan of a politician as opposed to just a voter that holds politicians accountable. Like, once you get to the space where you're not even looking at policy, you're just looking at the personality, and you've latched onto it and it becomes a part of your identity, like your politics becomes your identity, that's a dangerous thing in my opinion. And I've said before that a lot of times I notice when people don't really understand what their purpose is, or they don't really know who they are, or they're trying to figure out life. People always want a sense of belonging, and sometimes chaotic politicians that have big personalities and large followings seem to be attractive, and people feel that they can get a sense of belonging by becoming a part of that movement. And so this is how you get a lot of these folks who, like I said, are willing to commit crime all in the name of a politician. And so they show up to places on January 6th ready to commit felonies and try to climb walls, knowing they couldn't climb the ropes in elementary and couldn't pass any of the PT or the PE tests, but all of a sudden they're gladiators, they're going to war, and they're showing up with bicycle helmets and random vests and all kind of gadgets and equipment and walkie-talkies. And I'm like, what y'all coming out here to do? What we do? What's the end goal here? And the crazy aspect in all of this is now they're trying to paint him to be a political prisoner. You know, they're trying to make it seem like all of a sudden he's just been doing the right thing this whole time and everybody just wanted to get him. You know, he's being persecuted for his strong Christian beliefs and the fact that he wanted freedom for all Americans and for all of us to prosper. And that's why they won't let him be great, because he wanted to make America great again. And now all of a sudden they push that narrative where they're like, if they can do it to him, they can do it to you. And I'm like, pause for the cause, because he and I are cut from a different cloth. We are not about to equate his nonsense with my experience, because they're two totally different things. Secondly, what we're not going to do is correlate the foolery and the poor choices of a wealthy person making some stupid rich people decisions and getting caught up to the actual flaws that do exist within the judicial system and the prison industrial complex, but they're not equatable to what's going on with Donald Trump. He got caught up doing some nonsense, and that's the thing. These folks lie, and then when they get caught up, they want to act like all of a sudden they're being under attack and it's the system, and we all need to rally behind and just take the whole system down. And now you're watching folks try to investigate the investigators. Just all kind of dumb things, okay? It's kind of like you go back with Bill Clinton with his nonsense. He didn't get in trouble for messing with Monica. He got in trouble for lying about it. Same thing with Trump. It's like you should have just wrote a personal check to Stormy Daniels. We wouldn't have been in this mess. Instead, you used the campaign funds to pay her off. And again, there's all kind of rules with how that works. And so now you're caught up. And then there's such a paper trail with it. And people have gone to jail behind the nonsense trying to protect and back you. And you threw them all under the bus. And now we're supposed to feel bad for you. Like, make it make sense. And then I think back to how he responded in regards to everything that happened with the Central Park Five, and how you have these kids who were accused of sexually assaulting a woman at Central Park. They did not actually do the crime, and even before they were even, put on trial, he takes out this whole column in the New York Times, and he's calling for the death penalty for children. All because, he wants to, again, here comes that ego. Here comes that moving with invincibility. I can say and do whatever I want, and who's going to stop me? And now all of a sudden you want us to give this man grace. Like, I don't want to hear it, because even when we talk about the system and flaws, it's interesting that when black people collectively talk about the flaws that exist, and when we respond to black people that are shot and killed by the police unarmed, in that moment, everybody breaks their neck to say they should have complied. Well, they should follow the law. They should stop breaking the law. They should have pulled their pants up. Should have turned the music down. Should have stopped drinking that cognac. They got every kind of justification. But now all of a sudden the system is screwed up because their favorite celebrity and got caught up. And so now we must take the system down. And now the conversation is shifting into the space where folks are like, we got to fight against tyranny because they're trying to take away our freedoms. And that's what America's about. They don't want us to be free. And they're using Donald Trump as an example. And I'm like, but the same people y'all get behind and rally behind and one step from almost choose violence behind are the same people that are actually taking away freedoms, to the point where now you have libraries being defunded. You got books being banned. You got governors beefing with Disney and changing tax codes. You got all kind of crazy things taking place. And those are all the things where you're watching punitive policy come into play. Not policy that actually benefits people, but policy that strips away and chips away individual freedoms. You're seeing different things where you have positions that were once voted upon. You have movements to try to make them appointed and make them locked in, where folks who are already in positions of power can restructure who gets into those positions and how those positions can be attained, and then cement them and lock them in to be permanent, so that the people no longer have a voice or a vote with certain positions and certain, things that are assigned and aligned in regards to holding positions of power. Like, all of that right there is what you need to be worried about, not the big celebrity guy who even knows if he's even gonna do time, right? And so folks are on some weird stuff. I'm just like, y'all are on some nonsense. And he's already been given a lot of grace with all of this anyway. Again, 34 counts, and he gets to pick and choose when he wants to turn himself in. They said, okay, well, he's going to fly on Monday and he'll turn himself in on Tuesday. I'm like, oh, they're just so nice when it comes to that, because I know if this was some everyday Joe off the street that had 34 counts waiting for them, let them be at a hospital in labor. They'll have both hands cuffed to the bed, and the doctor's telling them to push. And as soon as that baby comes out, they are getting taken to cell block 8. So, stitches and all, they didn't even get a chance to recover yet. Like when women first give birth, your body's still got to recover. They don't care. They're going to lock you and throw you right in the cell. But, he's been given a whole lot of grace, so I don't want to hear it. Plus, he moves funny in all of this. The thing is, Trump already knew the people, that everybody's after him, right? You got New York going after him. You have everything in regards to Georgia that's taking place. You have everything in regards to what's happening with Florida and Mar-a-Lago. You would think that he would move with a little bit more decency. You would think he would try to be a bit more likable. Like, this would have been the time to be posting scriptures and inspirational quotes and just try to do things that butter up folks. But oh no, not this guy. He said, let me tell all of y'all something. So he's just been on the firing squad in regards to his social media app every day. Calling Alvin Briggs an animal and everything else. I'm like, bruh, this is the man that's spearheading the case against you. You would think you might kind of play it a little cool and keep it light and bright, but oh no, he said, I'm gonna show all of y'all. So okay, they said they're gonna show you too, right? And so it's interesting because now he's calling, telling folks to go and protest and go and fight for America. And I'm like, this has nothing to do with America. This is you and your nonsense. Like, don't be bringing me into your foolery. I've been over here minding my business, sleeping good every night, okay? So again, when they keep trying to say this thing about, if they can do it to him, they can do it to us. Well, listen, if the FBI is spying on me, I know they are bored because they don't have a whole lot. It's just me watching reruns and concerts on YouTube and eating a bunch of snacks all the time and probably sleeping all the time. But I mean, if they can find something wrong with that, go ahead and be my guest. But it's crazy because, you're watching all of these people in positions of power like crumble because they recognize that for some of them, they're claiming the fame is in jeopardy. Like you got Lindsey Graham crying on TV. What you crying for? What are you crying for? What? And he's talking about Trump should kick down trash cans and everything. I said, okay, but when we go back to 2020, all right, when folks were protesting police brutality, y'all were ready to bring out the National Guard and steamroll over people. But now Trump can kick down trash cans and whatever else. And Marjorie Taylor Greene's talking about, I'm flying to New York. To do what? You don't have any power in New York. Ain't nobody scared of you up there. Your power is in your district in Georgia. And when you get to have your position in the House to do whatever that's the little bit of power you get. But you going to New York, they're going to laugh in your face. Like, Marjorie, go sit down. And I don't get it because, again, all the people who go up to bat for this man, he leaves them hanging in the dust, right? Folks have gone to jail on behalf of this man. Folks have lost everything. And even when I look at the folks from January 6th, and I don't remember seeing him put money on anybody's bail. I don't remember him paying for lawyers for all these folks. And all these people were like, yeah, we thought he was going to stand with us and support us. And then, I don't have any help and blah, 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 blah. Now, a lot of those January 6 folks got slaps on the wrist and only did 2 or 3 months. And folks been getting out early and really nothing happened. But again, that should have been your warning right there. You done went and committed all these different federal crimes. And the main person who told you to go and do it is nowhere to be found, right? So interesting. I don't know, but going back to Trump and this invincibility, like I want to see. I want to see it all. I want to be entertained, right? Since he's so invincible, go ahead and choke out the police like you try to do the Secret Service people in the car. Like I want to see how that unfolds. Just do your thing, Trump. Just choke out some people. Give us some good TV to watch. All right. Because cable's too high anyway. They might as well put something worth watching. But no, it's just a bunch of nonsense. But you see all the people who get behind him start losing everything. I talked about this on the last live. Look at the pillow guy. Look at this clip.
My employees, we've lost all our box stores, our shopping channels. We get attacked every single day, and my pillow should not have to be attacked when they're protecting companies out there that we never heard the names of before.
Look, this man is disheveled here. Life is hard. He done lost almost all his advertisers. He's begging people to buy, I guess he got slippers or something now. Y'all ain't buying the pillows no more. And like I said on the last live, like you ruined your livelihood jumping behind some foolery. Everybody needs a pillow. That's a lifelong, just accumulation of wealth. You can always sell pillows because we always gonna need one. But you decided to jump into that nonsense and jump into conspiracies and talk about all this random crazy stuff and throw your entire livelihood away for a man who would not do the same for you. Make it make sense. Like I said, it's one thing to support a politician or like their policy. It's another thing to throw your whole life away because you're trying to get behind them and protect them from what? They was gonna... And it's funny because, again, old cuckoo Trump is still moving like it's nothing wrong. He's still campaigning, doing his thing, and now he's raising all of this money. Really, that's for his lawyers. I just want y'all to know. Y'all think y'all are spending money and donating for his campaign. That's for the lawyer fees, all right? He got 3 major cases about to come. New York, Georgia, Florida. If you think that's going to the campaign, try again. But good luck, folks. Enjoy. If that's who y'all want to get behind, I suggest y'all find a new hero, but I can't tell y'all what to do. But we'll see how this unfolds. Very interesting. Anyway, I'm out. Share your 2 cents. Subscribe.